I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to meet and make decisions on this beautiful place that we live in. Please keep our minds straight and our hearts straight and help us to make it the best place possible to live. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Would our guests please introduce themselves?
I was here last week, Charles Smith.
Good morning.
Joe Williams.
Good morning, Joe. Okay, has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes?
Excuse me.
Yes,
Point of information. Could you introduce yourself?
Certainly.
Each and every one.
I'm Katie Brown, sitting in for J.E. today. Go ahead and start.
Colleen Reed,
Bruce Troutwine.
George Call, Russell Knoll,
Margaret Dillon,
Bill Herman.
Camille de la Cruz.
Thank you.
All right, let's get started. Approval of the minutes, please. Everybody had a chance to look them over? Down in the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh paragraph regarding Lee Wenshall's absences, it's plural. It should be previous meetings.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna do that, make appointments plural too.
And leave out the
Yep.
I move we accept the minutes as amended by Katie.
Motion has been made. Do we have a second?
Second.
Do we have any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Okay, consideration of the permit application for Charles M. Smith. This is the application that we tabled last week for needing more information. And he's attached a materials list. And what color was this gonna be, Charlie?
The poles will be black with a silver roof. Hopefully he can get the same material I have on the house on 40. If not, it'll be as close as possible.
Okay. Anybody have any questions?
And we determined the setbacks to be within the,
Yeah, there's no problem.
that was, I remember there was.
As I read it, and as everybody is built, the poles are the only setback.
Right.
Okay? The roof itself can extend all the way out to the curb, but it won't. It'll be set back at least a couple feet with no problem.
Okay. And of course, the side setback's only 2 feet. Make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve this permit application for Charles M. Smith. Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Camille, do you have anything for us this morning?
I do.
And,
I don't have a fee
Oh, okay.
line, so if you'll advise me on that.
okay, the front office can,
Okay.
and we'll
Does it need
just,
to be?
yeah, we'll just go ahead and pass this around for everybody's signature, and then come back to you. Okay, anything else to come before this committee, anybody?
Was there, Camille, in your packet there, was there a CCNR violation?
Yes, sir. Did everyone get this, or?
No.
Okay, shall I let you?
No, go ahead.
Okay. This looks like it is a description of violation from Ariel Baker. It is, Unit 3, Lot 68. And then it is regarding dog litter, smell, and barking. Dog litter in the green area next to the complainant's residence. This was given to Matt, Land and Security. That is the first on this packet for member CCR's violation report. And then the next page here is individual complaint form. This is by Don Giacotti, I believe is how you say that. Does that sound correct? A health hazard posed to me by dogs at 69 Broken Bow. And it reads, there are several dogs at 69 Broken Bow. Occupants of the resident let dogs stray the green area, which is right behind his lot, my lot. Dog feces are all over the green area and dog owner's lot. They do not pick up dog feces. I cannot walk or do the yard work on my own property because of the nasty smell I experience from this feces. It makes me sick. This came on the 19th. And just
Is
going,
that also unit 3?
this
Same
one,
place.
Broken Arrow,
I think
Unit
it's the
3.
It
same
says
place.
broken arrow, not broken bow. That's
Oh,
right. I
Broken
think it's
Arrow.
broken arrow, isn't it?
Broken Arrow,
Yeah, that's up against that
oh, see, okay.
Main Street.
69 Broken Bow,
Yeah, I know what you meant.
okay. So, Unit 13, Lot 38 was the first page, and then the next one was the different gentleman, 28 Broken Arrow, Lot 3, Unit 74. So, they must be right up to next to each other, okay. And then another one, same, it looks individual complaint form, Thomas Nemia, or Nemia, 36 Broken Arrow, Unit 3, a member. On the above date, which was February 21st, FCS Security was notified of the persons or person living at 69 War Bonnet of, I cannot read this, renter owning 7 dogs in this
Oh.
location.
Ah,
Yes, 7
Violation right
dogs.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it,
Animal ID'd as pit bull, 75 pounds approximately, tied up back door of the house. They're allowed to spread dog waste and smell. It's approximately 1 week before the security chief, Matt Bland, visited the person at this location. He was told to clean up the area and the dog waste. This has become a health hazard, and noise from the barking dogs at 24/7, just caused our members to be unable to sleep. And the owner has refused to stop this problem, which has forced myself and the residents to seek legal action with Justice of the Peace. And we have been informed by the Chief of Secretary, Matt Bland, that he's unable to enforce the rules concerning the dogs. Only Justice of the Peace can enforce this according to Texas Penal Code therein. A formal complaint will be filed and law will be employed for further action. No resident should be forced to seek action because the Fort Clark refuses to enforce rules and regulations. And shame on all Fort Clark for this. Needs to be changed for health and safety.
Do we know who the owner is?
This hasn't mentioned on either report who the owner is.
Well, there's only allowed, what, 3 animals
3.
at the most?
I think a letter needs to be sent to the owner addressing the issue.
the
And,
one on Baker's is a female with pups.
It still doesn't make any difference.
We've got pups stuff.
We still have our limit, either, they either have to kennel them somewhere or something, we still have.
And the barking.
Especially if
can't.
they're weaned already. I can understand not taking them away before they're weaned,
So they're in violation of the
well, number one, the
of-
number of
That's number
animals
of
that they
animals.
have, and number 2, there've been so many complaints that I think, I don't know what we have as far as recourse, as far as fining them for each incident, if it is not taken care of. There's no reason for that dog litter to be where it's impeding the other
Safety.
members of using the green areas. I think most people are pretty good about taking their dogs way out or picking up after them. Those of us, that came by RV know that that's just what you do. That's just, it's understood. But we have people that don't care. Obviously, these renters are
The-
like that.
This one, the very last one, attached pictures of what appears to be, you can't actually make it out, but it's to the ground and of feces, if you'd like me to pass this around.
Are they all large dogs, as they say?
Large
Gentle?
feces.
Yeah,
I
And
think
it's just,
that's,
that's all
They're
I
a large
was-
dog.
that's what I was saying, is the pit bull indicative of what's over there?
a 75-pound dog would probably
Yeah,
need to be cleaned up after once.
Yeah, I
Every
think
other
that would
day.
be under section 18, probably D under there. That the persons exercising their pets in habitable areas are responsible for moving and discarding the pet's droppings.
Section
Yeah, that's
18.
in your rules and regulations booklet.
Yeah, just a point. All we can do is take action against the owner of the property, not the renter of the property.
lots of renter.
And what action can we take? And what is the course of that? I mean, security's gotten there. And I have a question for you. Does Matt have, Mr. Bland have an incident report that he fills out on everything that he,
We're supposed to.
He's
so
Okay.
there, so there should be something on his side?
Turned into, I guess,
Okay.
whoever he turns them into with the
To
office.
him.
Oh, but doesn't he turn them in somewhere here?
Yeah, he does, because it gets recorded at the, it's in the packet for the board meeting every month, so. It gets turned into somebody,
Yep. Janelle or,
probably right across the way.
Well, there's no him over there, is there?
Yeah, he doesn't,
I mean, he's not officially
no,
here.
he's not officially over there.
Okay. Did you have anything else?
The kind of a general, I don't know who's doing the email or the letters.
I'm doing the email.
I was just wondering if every issue has a piece, and like, one or two rules and regulations should just be put in there, and just kind of a rotating reminder that, if you have pets, this is required, if you, or whatever it may be. You're gonna do any construction on your property, permits required, things like that, just a general,
Just an insert each time to rotate.
Yeah,
So that-
like-
yeah.
That's educational, that's news, I
yeah,
think.
that kind of
Well,
thing.
I really appreciated getting the information on the vandalism.
Yeah, well,
I
that's
think
just,
we-
yeah, that's
I
news
think we
too,
need
that-
to know where the vandalism is here, so we can be a little bit more vigilant and watching, because there's not that many of us that work, and, there's a lot of retirees here, and they can watch.
absentee owners too.
Yeah, so,
There goes dog problem.
And Ms. Brown, thank you for following up on that last week. During that, I had to make sure I had permission to do that, not only, but it was a little late to send it, but at least it came out, and I
Yes,
think
right.
since
yeah.
the only, not excuse, only saving grace on that is that it at least followed the newsletter, so you're looking for it, maybe. But I'll try to, if there's something happens over the weekend, try to get something out.
Yeah, I
In
think
my
it's-
mind, at
it's a
first, I
good
was
thing.
thinking, well, it was in the paper, and so, but I know that not everyone reads the paper,
Yeah,
nor
exactly.
the newsletter, but.
But still, it's good to get it out there because word spreads,
Yeah.
by word of mouth if not.
And it also coming from the association seems like official, and I think it builds confidence.
Well, you know what, I think if you put out notices like this, it would kind of, it put out to in people's minds that maybe, they're aware of, they're watching, they're aware, things are,
All right, things still look right?
not just that, everybody just goes in here and closes their eyes and goes to sleep type of thing, it's just that security's watching, board members are watching, the board's watching.
I immediately
Maybe
got
we ought
phone
to stop
calls.
looking into taking care of this stuff.
That's good. I'm glad.
I got a phone call from one not so happy individual who was saying, well, I can't believe this happened, and why do member dues go to, why do I pay for this if the security's not doing this? And all I could do is listen, and that's, I don't wanna be, I don't have that authority to speak on that matter, but I did say, what the purpose of the letter was, and that's what I can speak to, is to inform you that this happened, and in my mind, even though there's a police force which pays our taxes pay, we also could benefit from a neighborhood watch and being more vigilant.
Oh,
That's all.
absolutely.
It's just an additional thing, and you
Absolutely.
deserve to know.
Yeah.
We
So-
know that everybody's overtaxed, and we need to, everybody needs to
To
do
help.
something. Yeah, absolutely. Also, I wanted to mention that a homeowner had a contractor come out and what he was doing was cutting out a section of their roof to allow for, I'm assuming, a slide out on an RV. But, you know, the fact that the contractor was working and altering the exterior, and I know that a permit was not applied for, and granted, he was only there for an afternoon, that's about all it took to accomplish the job and get the bottom purling back up. But we've had an incident with this homeowner before where they felt that anything that they did underneath their roof didn't require a permit. And came into the office and literally cussed out the girls and felt that he had a right to do that, and did pay the permit, and but now he's gone again and done something that's altered the appearance of the outside without a permit. I think that we need to get that letter in the hands of Bob to go around to all the contractors, because we do have, and this contractor, I guess, does live on the fort. So they're not going in and out, the gate can't catch them and say, is there a permit in place? But if Bob has the letters on his truck, then when those permits, you know, when he sees a contractor, you know, he can give them that letter advising them that, you know, that they should look for a permit in place before they do any work, and that the work that they do is only what is permitted.
Is there a letter that exists that, that you know of that I might be able to find?
I don't think we've ever had one go out to the contractors before, and,
Well, what is there, from this committee or from the fort, a letter that says, you know, basically says, any new construction or construction requires permit? Is there something written down in the bylaws or anything like that?
well, each unit's CCNRs.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
fact, every
Every
unit
unit
has
has
it stated in it. I think it's in the very first page of every.
Okay, I don't have, so why can't that be typed up and given to Bob?
Well,
Basically-
because it's different, the
It's different for
CCNRs are
every
different
unit.
for every unit, but everybody needs a permit. But
Well,
you
that's
could
what I'm
take-
saying.
You could
Basically-
take the verbiage from.
Yeah.
A
that-
basic blanket?
Yeah,
Yeah, that all, you
exactly.
know, all new construction, or not new, just any alterations, outside alterations on property or new construction
So-
requires a permit.
So the letter
And
might need
approval
to
from-
be
I mean, it
signed
includes
by that
landscaping
constructor and it halts it.
everything, you know, if you.
Yeah, I said, any alterations on your, on the exterior of your property, any new construction or alterations on your existing property
Yeah.
require an approval, a permit approved by the architectural committee.
Yeah, the first one I went to, here was
Posted
Unit 3
permit.
because it was handy, and it says, Article 3 on there, approval of architect committee. No structure shall be placed or constructed on a lot until the working drawing thereof have been approved in writing by the committee. No remodeling, painting, exterior reconstruction, I mean, it goes on the list, it's right there, so you could almost just pull that.
Right, that's what I'm saying, and then maybe the contractors, have the contractor sign it, so, you know.
Aren't people handed a copy of the CCNRs
When you-
of their unit when they purchase property?
And a copy of the rules and
Rules
regulations
and regulations.
when
When they
they,
buy property.
Yeah.
when you buy the property.
But I just
Transfer
don't,
it into your
If
name or
it's a
anything.
renter, they,
Never seen it.
Renters don't ever see that.
but how many people
Apparently.
remember they've got it?
This is, yeah.
Well, and what's bad too is their neighbor comes along and tells them, oh, you can do what you want to, you don't have to do anything. I've heard that 100 times.
oh,
Yeah.
I hear that all the time. It's my property, I can do what I want with it.
That's why I think a running
yeah.
commentary in the newsletter would, you know, not just on architecture, not just whatever else.
I think we've done that in the past.
Mhm.
Uh,
To know about it.
On the newsletters, on the past have had little suggestions added to the architectural part of it. When permits were required. I think they, at one time, even put a little section down in there, how many permits were issued that Tuesday.
Yeah,
We've done that in the past.
We have.
It's-
Well, I think it's, you know, it's just a kind of reminder that,
Yeah, it's always been in the
you know,
newsletter.
and it's not just, I don't think
Or
it's
has
just
been
the
in the past.
architectural committee, I think it would apply to anybody, really. Anything that has to do with the rules and regulations on the fort. I would think that, would, you know, it doesn't have to be a 15-page thing, it's just a quick,
Snippet.
don't forget architectural, or, well, architectural committee required, or not that, I'm trying to say is don't forget that.
It could go
if
under
you
a
can do
security
something-
section, or
Yeah,
did
the
you know that
CNRs
it's a violation
require-
of law?
Exactly, something like that.
Try to keep it lighthearted, so people don't go, oh, this is a yucky
But
letter,
anytime,
but
That's what I'm
did you
trying to get
know
at.
that, or something like
also
that?
involved in that, anytime you wanna get somebody's attention with the weekly newsletter that goes out, that needs to be right at the top of it. Any section that's right at the top before the calendar starts for the week,
Right,
people will read that.
Right,
And there's
exactly.
a lot of instances they don't read, because it's, the calendar for the week stays the same.
basically. that's-
Then they put some notice or read at the bottom.
I tend to put that last, the calendar, because it doesn't change that much.
Yeah, the calendar doesn't change.
But everyone's got a different opinion on what should be highlighted. So when I put the special events and bulletins, pretty much everything has to kind of, and then if I'm doing it 3 weeks in advance or something like that, I try to rotate those to not, but, yeah, the special events and bulletins, or the special bulletins, whatever that is, needs to be the most,
Reminders.
Yeah.
Which would be.
Yeah, what's going on with, as far as the Fort Clark days, the different things that need to be out there.
I try to mix
This
the
is
business
something that
with,
needs,
interest.
that could take note right at the bottom of that, read below, or something, and that might attract somebody to go down to the bottom of the thing and read a little section about something.
just to share with you, I think that as time goes and as I'm able to get more technologically advanced, I can get a better template for that. Because the email template that I have is tough, but I think getting creative and having sections that looks really like a newsletter, not really an email, will be beneficial. Because there will be that security side that actually looks like a column, if you will, so
No.
Yeah.
hopefully that's the direction I want to take it.
Oh, if someone's back window is broken by vandalism anywhere on this fort, I'd like to know about it, and I'm sure everybody else would. So that we can watch out for things.
That would be going through Matt's weekly reports and see what he has, I mean,
Now, he needs,
some of the stuff we don't have to really know, but,
well, but
but I'd be, like you said, something like that, or.
it's getting more frequent.
Yeah, vandalism needs to be known.
Oh, yeah, oh, I agree.
There's some things that he's involved in that don't need to
Oh,
be
well,
known.
right.
That's what I'm saying,
Any vandalism.
Back to the issue on the letter to the contractors, I think it ought to be highlighted or underlined or bold or something, that it is the responsibility of the contractor to make sure that a valid current permit is in place.
Is in place and on their
Posted.
person, posted.
Posted
Okay.
job site.
And then what is the course of action that Bob Walker would need to take if there isn't one? It needs to be halted.
Yes,
Yeah.
somebody
Yes,
should have the authority to shut it
That falls
down.
on the it actually falls on the homeowner, any fines or in violation of that permit, because they're the ones that have allowed the contractor to commence the work without.
So would he also need to carry, then he needs to carry the letter that would, one that says you've been,
Permits are required.
permits are required, you signed this, and that this construction is to be halted at this time.
Just to acknowledge that they've, received the letter.
Okay.
And I don't know if they need to sign it, but I think, well, everybody just needs to have one. I don't know, the contractor doesn't necessarily need to sign it or return it or anything, but I think they need to have in their possession a copy of the letter to know that we are watching what's being done on the fort and that contractors are.
Until you get the excuse that I never saw that letter.
Yeah, and that can happen, but, Bob will, if Bob had would just keep it written down in his notebook as to who he's given the letter to, then, then we would know that it was presented to this person on such and
With,
such a
with,
date.
with the phone number, so whoever the contractors, you can call them and tell them, hey, don't come back until permit is issued.
Exactly. Just be something he carried with him, it wouldn't have to be an active, go out and find all the contractors thing.
And speaking of the verbiage of the letter, if you'll point this information to me, that would be helpful, because I don't know how to
Okay.
draft it. I mean, not exactly.
Okay.
If you can show me what it needs to be.
There should be several in the file that you can.
Yeah.
Well,
Very
what you read there was, seems like pretty much
And I think
says it
that's in the
all.
starting of almost every CCNR for every unit. It has that statement. Maybe not exactly that same statement, but there is a statement pertaining to that in the starting of every, in this black book that's over here in the cabinet.
Okay.
You can go to almost any of the section units in there, and it should have a statement in there regarding that.
He just pulled the one from unit 3.
Right, and
if
those
they're all the-
amendment.
Yeah, and
If
if they're all the
it's
same,
been changed, there should be a copy in one of these black books.
So these black books are rules and
rules.
regulations
Mhm.
per section.
Mhm. Yeah,
They
there's actually,
contain
the
every
CCNRs are there, and then there's also rules and regulations also.
Right.
And you'll have that down in the office.
And this is the one where it speaks about the dogs and the feces
Okay.
in there. And also, it's broken down in sections, where if you wanted to put that in your newsletter, you could actually go by sections. And then on the very back page, there's also remedies for it, what the
Oh,
what the
excellent.
consequences of the violations are. And it wouldn't hurt to have that at the bottom of every time you place a section, put the remedies for it. And it's all in these books. You can probably pull almost any one of these books out for reference, and you'll have that information in there.
Very excellent training for us. Taking piece by piece and learning what. Okay, do we have anything else?
Bob's not here this morning, so.
I have a question. I'm driving around Sunday afternoon, going into, is it unit, as you go down Fort Clark Springs, unit 15, where it goes in a circle. If you go to your right, there's a house just right there on your right, a trailer. And there were so many golf carts parked out in the street, empty, that he is repairing, that I could barely get my car down the street. A huge red Hummer parked in that lot right next door to it. I stopped and I spoke to him and asked him how long he has been doing this. He said 3 years. But if he is going to continue to run business out of his house, he needs, I would think, to,
He works for security, I believe.
Yeah, it's Mike Palmer.
Mike Palmer.
he's in the middle road though.
Yeah, he's in
Not
the middle
Not on
road.
the
He's on
outside
Shattuck.
circle, but he's on the.
oh, I thought he
Are you
was
talking
right
about-
next to the people that have the garage sales all the time.
No. He's on the middle, he's right across the street from Debbie Hunted.
That's where the red Hummer and the golf carts are. And also a white storage building on the left-hand side of the
Two of
property,
And a horse trailer and 3 trucks.
Yeah.
and a partridge in a pear tree.
Yeah.
Oh, that's,
I didn't see the
and I
park,
didn't-
it's all fair traffic.
you know, it's just, when you can't get down the street.
Well, that was brought up at the last meeting or the meeting before that we need to write him a letter, that he's in violation of rules and regulations and the CCNR is conducting a business in there. Whether that letter was ever written or not, we don't know.
Well, if he wants to repair golf carts, there's plenty of room to do it over at the golf club.
Well, see, this gets back to the same old thing about all these rules, all these regulations, and if a person is not gonna abide by them, because this is an individual that actually works for security. This is an individual who lives across the street from a board member, and these things are happening. So,
I know.
it's the same thing. It's the person that drives 80 and a 70-mile-an-hour speed limit, parks in a handicap ramp and shouldn't. It's- You know, you can have all the rules and regulations in the
Well,
world. and
the
this-
question I would think would be, you can, like you say, you have all the rules and regulations, but what teeth do you have to
Exactly.
stop it? I mean, if Matt catches somebody speeding on Fort Clark Road, can he issue them a summons?
I don't think so, no.
Yeah.
So why would
No,
anybody
there'd
pay
be
attention?
3/4 of the
But you
fort
know what
in
I'm saying?
jail.
Uh-huh.
But, you know, that's the problem, there's no teeth even with us. What teeth do we have, you know?
To answer-
We have more than.
To answer Camille's question earlier, we used to, and I'm sure it's still in effect, we used to send the owners of the property a letter, give them 15 days to cure. If not, tell them things like this, failure to comply cost you $25 a day. Well, it's not, and it'll be assessed against your account. And if that doesn't work, you call in you have the attorney for the fort file charges against them.
That's right, that's the way it used to
Yeah.
work.
But we've done this in the past, and we've stopped people from doing it. In several units, and Unit 15 has been one of them. Why do we have a problem with doing this one?
We don't, I guess, it's.
We shouldn't have a problem.
No, I understand that, but like what Bruce just said, well, there was a chain of command that you could follow.
Right.
It sounds like a lack of follow-through.
That's exactly.
There you go.
Now, if you read 93.4, for instance, it has all those, and I assume this is the most up-to-date one there is, since that's the most up-to-date one I have, but
I
it
think
was
the fines have
91.3 followed
increased,
by
haven't they?
91.4.
Didn't they change the assessment of the fine?
Now, that might
I
be
think they
true.
changed the amount of the fine.
Yeah.
Well, sometime I read $200 a day, but that was for something else.
Yeah,
That was for building without permit.
right.
I think you're right, I think the board just raised that just last year.
Mhm.
Just last
The
year
assessment.
changed
They
that.
did.
And it's not called a fine,
Yes.
that we,
It's
it's
an
actually called an
assessment.
assessment.
It's a special
Yeah.
assessment.
Mhm.
This is
For
for the
an
letter for the,
Mhm.
Yeah,
For the letter for anybody. who-
and like Bruce says, I think they're given 15 days to rectify the problem.
And they have a right to come before the general manager or whoever is head of the operations at that point in time and argue their case. And a member of this committee will be there along with if we're the people who started the thing, will be present at that. And
sounds like then if Bob is beginning this process, he would need to acquire a signature. Because then when do we say 15 days begins?
Well, you have to
Well,
send
that's
them a
the-
letter.
15 days, we
Of
said,
postage?
From the
We'd
day
have to
to
send
letter.
them a letter.
we send them
Registered
a registered or,
Yeah, to the homeowner, not
Yeah.
to
And
the, not to the contractor.
And then who's we? Is that some representative from the office?
That's the association.
association.
The whole association.
The committee can
No,
recommend
there's
that
a-
it
there's
be
a-
consent.
There's
That's what we've done in the
there's a-
past.
Okay,
There's a thing, I mean,
generally that,
it's been followed for years, and all you gotta do is dig it out and, find,
Yeah, normally the director
Each
of
step in
operations
order.
attends this meeting, and the director of operations takes care of that.
they have some files and things.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Janelle should have complete files on all the past
On
ones.
everything,
and,
yeah.
And that's another thing too, that we've been weak in the past, is following up to see what the remedy was, what happened on that. We send the letter 15 days and then it kind of goes away and we don't hear what happens.
Well, that should be part of
The
her
next
report
minutes.
back to us
Mm-hmm.
after the 15 days as to what has happened.
Right.
Right.
So that it'll be in our minutes continuously too.
But that's something that we have not
Right, I
received in
understand.
the past. We've asked, and we've made it in the form of motions and stuff like that, but we never get that information
Right,
back.
we don't get the feedback.
We fall down on it on our end by forgetting about it maybe.
Right.
Do you
Where-
ever forget about that hangar across the street from your house?
We had word that he was talking to a contractor to build a home.
yeah, just
That's
2 meetings, last
only been a
meeting,
couple weeks
two
ago.
meetings ago.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness, and I was here and I didn't hear that? Oh.
J.E. reported that he's talking to a builder and,
See if he gets a permit.
well, we can't keep him from getting a permit.
No, I said,
other than
no, I'm
just-
saying, is he going to get a permit just like building? is what he has?
He got a permit years ago.
And,
To
you know,
build
I
a
know that
hangar,
we're
but
just,
he's
No,
uh,
he got a permit to
getting
build the
ground
house.
running, but we
Yeah.
also
The
need,
house was in
uh,
that
updated
permit,
list.
too.
Usually about every 6 months, we
Was
get,
Yeah.
a list of all the permits that have
It
been
had
issued
the
in
whole
last
thing
6
drawn
months
out, what
because
he
those
had to do,
permits
and
will now be,
how he was gonna get a
Expired.
house on that little tiny lot.
and, so we need to get,
I'm
usually we
here.
get that list
Here.
twice a year. And, I was thinking about that the other day, we should have
And
an
he,
updated list.
It's educational for me, I'm learning.
he at that time,
Things are.
Okay, do we have anything else that we need to bring?
I just have one
go ahead,
question.
Bruce.
Are we having any luck at all about having these permits returned after the people are done with their work?
Probably not.
They're supposed to return that so we can know that they are done with their work. Otherwise, you're gonna have outstanding permits sitting out there forever and ever and ever.
Mhm,
And
exactly.
there has to be a way to get to,
4 or 5 months ago, we got a report.
That's what I just told her, we needed to get
Yeah,
that
we got a
report again.
report that did that,
Okay.
that listed some
I
of those
wasn't- I
things
was
that were
not
coming
committed
back
that
in.
way.
And we, that's another point that's fallen down, we're not continuing to get the reports.
We're not getting the feedback
But we have
again.
somebody new, and then we have turnover, so it's getting the,
Exactly.
So in order to have follow-through, I'd like to know what your expectations would be for next week. For example, on the CCNR complaints we just read off from dog feces, what is the recourse, what are we doing here? Is that
Letter
just
should be going
educational?
out to the homeowner.
yeah, check.
Okay.
If,
The homeowner.
if and when Janelle comes back, talk to her so you can find out exactly what the steps for doing that are.
And how to legally write
Yeah,
it.
I mean, and that's an important point.
Where is
Mhm.
Janelle?
And then secondly, our discussion about, was your, point regarding the gentleman on, I believe that's Shafter Road?
Shafter, it is Shafter.
yeah, that's Shafter.
Is that, because it's brought up today as someone from the architectural committee, is that something we say, okay, that is something we should issue a letter on?
Can,
Yes.
Okay.
if you can look back in the, if there's some way to look back in your records and find out if there was a letter sent. If there hasn't been one, then maybe we need to make a motion to send a letter to him that he's in violation of the CCNRs in Unit
What's this?
15.
If
That's
you
the
can't
same-
get
You
my
wanna go
car
ahead and
down the
make that
street,
motion, and then if one has already been sent, then we'll follow up, but if not, then the motion's in
Yeah,
place and we can get another
I'll
letter.
make a motion that we need to send a letter to Mike Palmer about operating a business in Unit 15, in violation of the CCNRs.
Okay, a motion's been made, do we have a second?
Can you tell me your name? and-
George. Call.
charge call.
You can do it.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, it's been made and seconded, any further discussion?
I think CCNR letter, authority would come from you for the association to send a letter to this homeowner. Do we need to make a motion on that?
No, shouldn't have to.
It just goes?
It just goes.
Is that, we talked about, I think, 2-3 weeks ago about the
Comes-
trailer
it
over
comes-
by,
it doesn't
Yeah,
come from
the
our-
horse
No,
trailer.
it comes from the,
yeah, it's
Well,
still
The
there.
horse trailer in the old
Okay,
RV
Okay, we've
park.
got a
Yeah.
motion
Yeah,
on
we
the
need to get
table.
this one out of the way.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay.
I don't know if that letter was ever sent. We
Okay.
discussed it, but I don't.
We-
Wait a minute, let's slow down, we're going to let Camille get caught up.
Take shorthand. They still teach
Did we
shorthand?
do
Yes,
that?
they do, and I can't even read mine.
I have my own shorthand.
Yeah.
And there was supposed to have been a letter, I think a motion was made 3 or 4 weeks ago to send a letter for that horse trailer over in the RV park.
Who's the owner?
Just like this one here, that we did it again, but I think there was a motion made several weeks ago also to send Mike Palmer a letter. A violation, that was brought up.
And there was another one, I think somebody brought up, since I've been here, the one over by the RV park, the little trailer sitting out.
Well,
there.
yeah, there's a car hauler or something
Yeah.
sitting under the trees in the RV park, and we never got an answer. Are they paying? We've got a storage lot,
I remember that.
and,
You know,
and
I
these
asked-
people are not required to put stuff in.
I
there.
asked Shirley about that, and she said she didn't know of any such thing,
It's
Okay,
large
The
enough.
storage lot or the trailer?
the trailer,
Oh,
in the RV park, and Shirley should surely know.
Oh,
Well, it's sitting right there.
Drive
It's
through
all
there and
tree.
see
pretty
it every
obvious
day.
to see.
Yeah, that big white one.
Well, I asked her about it anyway. She
White or
didn't say she
silver.
didn't know what I was talking about.
Ah,
Hey, Don, how are you today?
So we need to follow up and see if
I
that
think
letter
that's
was
a big
sent.
thing, follow-up.
Yeah, sounds,
Okay, and
Sounds like I
Bob's
have
not
3
here this
letters
morning,
to-
so.
okay,
track down
I'm going
Barbara?
to ask for a vacation time. I will be here next week. After that, I will be in Europe for a
You
month.
don't expect vacation pay, do you?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's the same rate that I'm getting now would be just fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But some period during that time, we'll vote whether we want to approve your absence or not.
Well, I need
That's
to issue
why
a
I'm
letter to
asking
everyone.
for it now. I will be here next week and then for about 5 to 6 weeks. I think maximum 5.
I would just say that you should just let her, anything like that, that they're gonna be absent, just let her know that you're not gonna be at the next
Well,
meeting.
but
and she can
we
tell
are
us.
only allowed, how many?
Unexcused absence.
5.
Well, get a doctor's note for 2, and then 3 you can have, vacation.
Now, that is,
There's somewhere in the bylaws that there's a doctor's note. Is there a
that
limitation
that
on
is
doctor's note?
precisely the reason that we have 9 members on the committee, because this happens quite often.
It happens.
I have been married to Ed Dillon for 25 years and I deserve a trip to Europe, please.
Okay,
along?
it's 9:40 a.m. and this meeting is now
Oh, that's so
adjourned.
fun.
Do you have an
Adjourn.
All
outside?
business being